This is Christy P here, and I'm going to tell you the story of how Elsa began and some facts you may not have known about her. For example, did you know she is only the second love interestless princess in the Disney realm? The first one is Merida from Brave.
I am Merida, firstborn descendant of Clan Dumbrog, and I'll be shooting for my own hand.
Talking about girl power, right? Who needs a man?
Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls?
She is also the second princess to have powers, because Rapunzel from Tangled is the other with her magical hair.
Make the clock reverse, bring back what once was mine.
And here's another one. The filmmakers actually had to create a new software to deal with Elsa's famous braid. How crazy! Now let's dive a bit deeper. The character Elsa is loosely based on the character in Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen. That character was the antagonist, whereas Elsa is a deuteragonist. That's the second most important character. In Frozen, Anna is the protagonist, aka the most important character. Now, as we know, Frozen is loosely based on The Snow Queen, the book. But did you know that it was first placed into development by Walt Disney in 1939? It was most likely going to be a short animated sequence in a movie version of Hans Christian Andersen's life, but it was never made. And now look what happened.
I finally understand. For the first time in forever, we can fix this hand in hand.
So let's get back to talking about Elsa here. Elsa had a bit of an isolated childhood after her powers over ice and snow kind of backfired on her, and she lost control, and a simple game between her and her younger sister Anna led to a big accident. She felt so bad for her sister and so scared of what she was capable of, but since she hit her sister in the head, it was reversible because it wasn't the heart. This is how the movie basically begins. But rewind! Originally, in the early stages of creating Elsa, she was portrayed as a dramatic, theatrical villain, much like Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians and Ursula in The Little Mermaid.
Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need.
And she wasn't even going to be related to Anna at all. But there were issues during the film's development, and two things changed: Elsa's moral role in the story and her relationship with Anna. Could you imagine the story without that sister love, that bond between Anna and Elsa? Or imagine if Elsa was just evil instead of being that misunderstood girl who was afraid to hurt her sister, so she went to hide away? The filmmakers pretty much thought about the new possibilities in the story and said, this feels right. Put in some sisterly love, you know? Make Elsa good.
Oh, Elsa, you sacrificed yourself for me? I love you.
Now, what if Elsa was a villain? Well, let me show you. There is this deleted scene of Elsa, which shows the ruthless, bitter, cold-hearted tyrant who had an entire army of giant snowmen as henchmen. And in the movie, there is only one.
Stop! Put us down!
Go away.
Her look was going to resemble actress Bette Midler. You may remember Betty as Winifred the Witch from the 90s film Hocus Pocus.
I have put a spell on you, and now you're gone.
Elsa also was potentially going to resemble the late singer Amy Winehouse.
My odds are stacked. I go back to black.
These designs went for sort of a punk rock look, depicting her with spiky black or blue hair and even blue-gray skin. She was shown with more of an angular body instead of that curvaceous body, and she had a constant malicious smile. Freaky, right? We just wouldn't have had the same insecure Elsa who feared her own powers.
Don't let them in. Don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be.
Instead, she would have been jealous of Anna, because Anna was a royal and Elsa wasn't going to be. The songwriter Kristen Anderson Lopez stated back in 2014 that Elsa's motivation throughout the film was to freeze Anna's heart on purpose. intention was to take over the kingdom. I think it was a good thing that the writers changed the story from a villain to an anti-heroic role. What do you think? Now, Idina Menzel was not the original voice of Elsa. It was actually Megan Mullally originally.
Our friend,
Idina had auditioned to be the lead in Tangled, but Mandy Moore took that role. But the casting director recorded Idina and showed it later to the executives of Frozen. The director, Chris Buck, even said that Idina had a sense of vulnerability in her voice. She plays a very strong character, but someone who lives in fear. So we needed someone who portrayed both sides of that character, and Idina was just perfect.
Let it go, let it go. Hang on with the wind and sky.
Though she's a giving person, Elsa suffers from emotional instability due to years. I'm talking years of keeping her emotions bottled up. How can you live like that? When she has strong emotion, she loses control, and it becomes super dangerous.
Worse, calm down.
No, don't touch me. Please. I don't want to hurt you.
The song, Let It Go, and I'm sure we've all heard this song before, and if you didn't, here you go.
Let it go, let it go.
This song reveals a liberated side to her personality, without stress, responsibility, or fear of hurting others.
I think when you finally have that moment, when you can just say, you know, I'm gonna stop caring about what people think and I'm gonna be my truest self.
The queen is strong and unafraid, yet with an elegance still surrounding her. Elsa decides to abandon what she was made to be, and she can be free to just be herself. Wouldn't we all want that? Just be free to let it go.
Let it go, let it go.
Sorry, last time.
Let it go, let it go.
Okay, that was the last time. She shows her creativity in this scene as she creates this ice palace. How extraordinary is it? It took 50 people to work on the technology for this scene where Elsa builds her ice palace. One frame in particular took 30 hours to render. The Disney artists even had to take a crash course in meteorology so they can learn about snow. The animators brought in Dr. Ken Librecht, aka Dr. Snow, which is like the best nickname ever for him in these circumstances.
I was the snowflake consultant on the movie Frozen. They wanted to get all the snowflakes right, and so they asked me, how they grow.
That'll about do it for this episode of